All right, we're back from our commercial break. Thanks for joining us for part two here, boys. Before we get to the trades that matter, again, we always skip over the ad drop trades 'cause it's not worth our time talking. I just thought honorable mention here. Domo's been very proud of the mighty Anus all season, and since he got traded to Nashville on Saturday, he parted ways. His organization parted ways with a long-term member, so. It was big deal yesterday when he made that move.
It's not
Um,
even on your screen.
no, it's not. It's not even worth that much talking.
Oh, because it's an ad drop. You're right.
The
You're right.
ad drop.
Yeah.
But he did pay a 3 round upgrade for an ad yesterday, mostly because Nick did a good job selling him as a guy who has 4 games this week on top of yesterday's game. So he paid a 12th and Josh Anderson for Lowry and a 15th going back his way. So Domo and Nick hooking up for a deal there. Other than that, it was all ad drops. Not really worth talking about.
Yeah. Nice to see Nick putting in some work to make up for that trade last Sunday for the goalie. I wasn't present last week to make the comment, so have to
Yeah, he
call it out.
started. The goalie started on Saturday night.
Yeah, you got a shutout.
First NHL start gets a shutout.
Yep.
That could have been you, Nick, if you would have held on to him.
Yeah. Fucking impatient, eh?
I'm surprised
It
Veg
was.
this back-to-back starts.
I agree. I agree. And you know what? I normally want to wait for the check mark to even bother selling, but I had a busy day, so I didn't want to be on my phone. So
Yeah,
I just threw it out there, and he
you did
said,
the
"All
right
right,
thing, apparently.
yeah, yeah."
No one would have
So
bought
it
him
worked
once
out.
that check mark showed up.
No, there's no check mark.
Uh,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about a deal that was made like an hour or two ago. Still fresh. Tyler Senge, who's injured, he's missing at least this week, this full 4 games. A ninth and a tenth going to Sean. Uh, moving Bezer, 17th and an 18th to Plums. What do you think of this trade?
At first thought it was the other way around that Kyle was trading uh
Bezer?
trading away Besser, and I'm like, damn, like he did a good job getting a good price, and then I'm like, nope, it was him buying it. I'm like, I think that's a little too steep for me. Two full long, what is it, 8 and 8 round upgrades, uh, for a guy who's just streaky as fuck, in my opinion. Maybe a ninth for an 18th, I would say would be a fair deal. But for the other one there, I think it's just too much. But I know he's tired of losing, so he's trying to compete. He's tired of the injuries, right? But I think this is a reactive move.
I agree. It's too much for my liking. I'm not high on Besser to begin with, personally. But as long as he's happy with what he got in return, like you said, he needs the help. Then it's good
Yeah.
for him. Sean asked me out of curiosity what my value was. I said if you can get anywhere between an eighth and a tenth for him, like that's a deal. You take that and run. And he showed
Mhm.
me an offer for a ninth and tenth. Like you have to take that if you're moving Besser. Like that's you're
Yeah,
not gonna get a better
before he removes that.
you're not gonna get a better deal than that for him. He was hoping to get an eighth, he was saying, but a ninth and a tenth, I think that's probably better than just an eighth. So, in my
I
opinion.
agree. Yeah, good on Sean for this one.
I think Sean did really well on this, getting a good return for a guy who he didn't want 3 Canucks anymore now that he has DeBrusk.
Yeah.
And, really a ninth and a tenth. They're high enough picks,
Yeah.
but are you gonna get a better player than Besser for a ninth and a pick? You might be able to add another player of that caliber, but he targeted a guy that he likes. I think he has some history with Besser. I think he had Besser the last few years at
I
some
think he has a
point.
couple times. Yeah.
So I think it's someone
Yeah.
he's familiar with that he likes what they bring to the table. So if he's comfortable with this deal, then good for him. He could get in the player that he wanted. He sometimes you got to pay a little extra to get the player you want, right? So he
Yeah.
saw a need that he needed to fill, and he filled it. Let's get to this week's matchups. All right. So this week, Le Champion has it easy. taking on the trash team, TVT MF, the current leader in the Caucasaurus race. Um, Corey, who do you have?
Uh, I gotta go with you. I don't have much to say.
Wow,
That
no
was a tough one.
banter,
That was a tough
nothing.
one. I don't like to root for you, so
I get it.
I get a lot of hate from the boys in the comments for it. So I got to be very careful with my words here.
It's
Um,
easy to
I
hate
think you
on
can
me when
have another mediocre 4-3-1 record type of week and cruise with a win here. How about that?
yeah, I agree. We saw Nick do it last week against him.
Yep.
His guys didn't have his best week, but they did it at the right time against a team like Travis. I think
All-star break.
my boys are heating up, and I'm hoping big things from Zibanejad this week. He plays tonight against New Jersey. We all know Markstrom hasn't been great, so hopefully he
Sure.
lights it up a little bit. But I think this is an easy win for Le Champion. Um, Sorry, Travis, you're gonna add another loss to that pile. Not much to say about that. Speaking of trash teams, we have Shane hasn't lubed me at 1-4-3 and 15, taking on the 3-5 Team Rocket. Who do you have here?
This may be in the match of the week. This really may be. This is going to be talked about in the chat for sure. Um, you know, a guy who just lost to Travis and then Dan, it's really fucking hard to go for you. But I can't go for Travis, so I'm going to go for Team Rocket
For
here.
Mark, you can't go for Mark.
Or sorry, yeah, against Mark. Yeah, I can't go for Mark. So they're both in the basement. I just associate them as the same thing.
Yeah, they're both there. They're the Trash Brothers. They're
Yeah.
both gonna be on the Caucasource this year. I feel it. They're gonna share. They've been friends all season. They're gonna finish the season as cock friends.
Do we have any conditions on if there's a tie in points?
No,
Are we just purely based on what Yahoo ranks 16th?
I'll put two names on there. I don't care.
Well, or is that what we're going with? We calling it now? If you are
Sure.
tied in
We should
points,
discuss it at least as a
yeah,
group. Because usually the winner of the season is decided by a tiebreaker. Are we doing that for last
yep.
place, or are we comfortable having co cock holders here? Because
Oh, cockholders. You
we
can have
might see
three
both.
names. You could see three
Might
names
see three
theoretically
names
on there.
If Braden drops down, right?
Yeah,
At one point.
that's not happening, but
So I don't know. I'm not opposed to
yeah.
having multiple names on it. But we'll let majority speak. Boys, get into the comments and of our chat there into the chat and kind of voice your opinion on it. Give the boys something to talk about. Because they're not gonna be talking about this matchup. It's gonna be fucking boring as fuck.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Kyle as well because I can't put faith in the dumpster fire. I know he's not the dumpster fire anymore, but I wouldn't even waste lube on this guy. So why am I gonna fucking give him my vote of confidence? I'll try the
Don't
beef.
even hastily want him. Jesus. That's a good one.
I'll try the beef here at 4-4 and 8, taking on mentally bedarded, who's retooled 3-5. Who do you got here?
I think Daltrey should be able to take this, considering Kyle's goalie situation. I think player wise, Daltrey has the edge as well. So unfortunately, I don't think this will be Kyle's week.
I'm kind of in the same mindset, mostly because of the goalie thing too. Hurting Talbot really hurts him right now. Unless Demko comes back this week, which could be a nice wild card for him. I know he's close. He's traveling with the team, so
Yeah.
it could happen.
Yep.
But
Oh,
looking at
until
the
you see it.
roster, yeah, exactly. Look at the roster right now. I have to give the edge to Daltrey. He's just been the more proven team so far this season. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen in this league. I've seen Travis win a week. I've seen him win two. Everyone loves Raymond. 3-4-1 in 10th place, taking on pure ass. 3-3-2 in ninth place. Who do you have here?
Oh, I think Derek should take this one. I think it should. I could see it going either way. Um, Casey's boys have been pretty good for him last few weeks. Really starting to show up a bit more. So there's potential, but I really think Derek's goalies will be the difference.
I think these are two solid teams right now.
Yep.
Both have been playing pretty well. I'm gonna go with Casey. He gave me a pretty good fight last week. Again, minus the goalies. But his skaters showed up. His Devils have been hot. If Robertson can pick it up, then his forwards could really do some damage. I'm going to put some confidence in Casey this week. I think pure ass will defeat Everyone Loves Raymond. And mostly because I just don't like that show. So fuck you. Forgot about Dre taking on Huba Stankoven. Who do you have here, Sean or Nick?
Hmm. Yeah, you got to go with Nick. Associates are going to do it again this week.
Yeah, I don't think it's a competition right now. Sean's retooling, which is good.
Yep.
He's starting to really take a look at his roster. He has a lot of time to turn it around, but it's tough to turn it around against one of the top teams in the league. It's not impossible that Sean can come out and win. Um, he's definitely tied him before in the finals, so anything can happen. But I think Nick's
Yep.
team is just better overall, and they're rolling right now, so they're gonna be a little hard to stop. Patches. It's in at 5-2-1 in third place, taking on Sorokin These Nuts, who's been on a little bit of a struggle here after losing to Braden. I think someone has to do like a mental check on him here, make sure he's okay after that tight loss. Hopefully you're all right, Neil, and you'll rebound. You'll be rebounding this week, maybe against Patches. Who do you got, Corey?
I think this will be a good matchup. Um, but I think Patch's goalie situation's in a much better position. I think that will be the difference. Player wise, I think it's quite close. But getting the reliable starts, not necessarily great starts all at Colorado, but I think we'll do well. Anderson's out. And I just if
Right.
Vancouver plays well and Demko doesn't come back, then that's good for Neil. But I don't see it happen.
He'll have Sorokin as well, right? And you can't count Sorokin. Even if the Islanders don't win that often, they're like a 50-50
And
team.
Varlamov's getting a good amount of starts still.
Varlamov's been playing well, so
Yeah.
you're gonna give him the starts too. I'm gonna go with Neil though. I think Neil has some of the best forwards in the league. He's the top scorer in Nations, and Panarin's been on quite a tear this season. Kaprizov's one of the top five scorers in the league. I just think his offense is better than O'Brien's, and if he can get solid goalie numbers, then it should be an easy win for him. I mean, maybe not easy, like he should win. It'll still be close because Patches does have a solid lineup as well. But I think Neil should walk away with this. The Big Bad Wolf. 5-3, taking on Domo, Captain Crunch, who will do anything to win on a Sunday. Who do you have here?
Big Bad Wolf. First time getting rep the new team name. Been associate pass for a long time, but um, I'm fucking pumped with how Wolf
What,
has
the
been
start
playing.
season one
And
with Sauce Pass?
yeah, yep. I think yeah. Um, but I think Wolf's the guy of the future for me. And I'm fucking excited for the season, and you got me pumped. So I'm going with long term name change here. The Big Bad Wolf.
I think the last time you had a different name was what you were like quick to slap a hoe or something like
No, it
that.
was quick to Skinner a hoe
Yeah, yeah.
because I had quick Skinner and a hoe.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
but
long
it
time ago.
never lasted though. It'd be like a week, and then always go back. So new team now.
New team. Now he's just gonna blow everyone. Uh, that's what big bad wolves do, right? And
Yeah,
look, your grandma. So he's not opposed to very mature.
yeah. Hey, cat's a cat.
Domo, I will think he'll put up a good fight. He will make moves to try and compete. I did look at his picks though, and he doesn't have a whole lot of value left. So I think it's gonna be tough for him to make those moves. Um, and I just think his goaltending is a wild card right now. Now that the mighty Yannis is not getting those starts for him, he's losing a start or two from Colorado every week now. Um, That might be a big difference in his team. So I haven't seen his
Yeah.
team perform in the state it's in right now. So I'm going to go with you to win this week.
Yeah, to kind of comment on that, um, he has 5 picks that aren't in the last 2 rounds. And those 5 picks are a 10th, a 10th, a 10th, a 15th, and a 16th. See, you're really not wrong there.
Nope.
Uh,
He will make a trade or two though to get
yeah,
to replenish some picks soon.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yes, he will.
I bet he'll move Vetrano. That's my guess.
Who?
Clark, Vetrano, those are the guys he moves to try to get some picks back and then
Maybe
retool.
Veg as Abram.
Dobson's been floated, right? Because he's
Yeah.
been off to a pretty shitty start, point wise at least. Yeah,
We'll
it'll be
see what he
interesting.
does.
Carmichael, 14 goals.
He
He's killing
finally
it for
has
him.
a good base though. I do like
He does.
I like the trio he has of Miller, Kachuk,
And Barkov now.
Barkov. I like that trio a
Yep.
lot. So
Yep. Just needs
if he can get another good two keepers to add on to that, I think he'll have a solid base going forward.
he needs those goalies, right? He needs a goalie to pan out for him.
He needs a
Yeah.
actual starter.
The thing is, I don't know if he's patient enough. He
It's
did hold in to a
few.
Noonan for long enough that, and I really thought that was going to be a steal for him, but
Yeah, but
it's tough,
Colorado
right?
was just a shit show. You know what?
I know.
While we're talking about that Colorado trade, this boggles my mind. Nashville, we're gonna sign Wedgwood to a 2-year contract, essentially blocking Askarov's path to the NHL, upsetting him. He demands a trade, so they trade him. 2 months later, they fucking trade Wedgwood, which would have opened a path for Askarov to get to the NHL. But they know now we got the mighty anus. Like
It is pretty wild. That does look bad.
it looks bad. Like
Yep.
you could have told Askarov, be patient. This year you'll probably get up there.
And he has been sitting in the NHL too a bit. So it's kind of funny to see that.
He won't be there long though. Now that you've
No.
seen him at the NHL level, they're gonna try and move Vanacek. They're gonna try and move Blackwood, one of them, whichever one they can get rid of. And Askarov's gonna see time at the NHL by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
He played
Consistent.
really well in those 2 games. He's ready. He's ready to
Yeah.
maybe not be a dominant goalie, but he's ready to carry a decent workload up on in the big leagues.
They're a fun team to watch.
They are.
Caught a few of their late games. Yeah, they're fun to watch, to be honest. Good
They're not as
energy.
bad as their record shows, right? Like they're gonna get there in
Yeah.
a few years. Their rebuild, it looks like it's on the right track and in good shape. So,
Yeah, exactly.
the last matchup to talk about, we have Fetch Me a Drink and the Braden bye week. And before I even talk about this, looking at the rest of the matchups, you might be right about Kyle and Mark being the match of the week here, but I'll probably say I'm going to be looking forward mostly to Neil and Nick. I think
Yeah.
that's the matchup that has the two closest in standings, or at least
Well,
talent wise, where it would be the most interesting matchup.
me and Domo, fourth, fifth,
Yeah, that could be a good one
point
too.
of yeah, tied in points. So
Um,
another close one, but yeah,
but I
there's a
guess
few.
back to the topic at hand here, Braden or Dan, who do you got?
It's hard to go against Braden being 6-1-1, but oh yeah, I'll give it to Braden. Sorry, Dan, can't do it this week.
No, you're right. It is hard to go against
Yeah,
Braden at 6-1-1. It's crazy to think that at the start of the season when I said, "Hey, Braden's a playoff team this year," you almost half didn't
yeah,
believe it, right? Like it's
yeah. Not and yeah,
deep league.
they've been active. They've been uh, miles ahead of what they've done in the past, and he does normally come at one point in the season and sell off for some decent picks. So he had something going into the draft, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that it's translating and they're being competitive and they haven't made bad moves. The trades have all been been fair. So minus the Hyman one hasn't worked out too well.
Well,
Hyman? No, was it him for Hyman?
no,
No, it wasn't.
Skinner.
He had Skinner. Yeah, yeah. That one there is questionable, but
Getting him starts.
yeah, exactly. And that's
Getting
what
him
he needed.
starts.
Yeah,
Until Edmonton moves on from Skinner, like he's set there right now. He
yeah,
still
it's
has
true.
the Dallas goalie there, so
Yeah, what's his name? Oh my
Ottinger.
God. Yeah, Andre. Yeah, who's nasty. So he's getting some quality starts, and you're gonna get some great games at Edmonton. So it's just there's gonna be some shit ones too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all.
the issue. But he's like a whole different team this year. I'd like to credit it that he was inspired by Le Champion's faith in him this year, and him and his I don't know what you want to
Delusion.
call him, his GM partner. They're sitting there holding hands, talking about their season. You know, good for them.
Yeah,
They're focused. They're keeping each other motivated, I'm sure, to keep winning. So he doesn't want to see his name on the Caucasaurus again, which I don't blame him. I never want to see my name on that
yeah.
shit.
I didn't know it was gonna ever be on a trophy because I finished last when I tanked 1 year
That's
to
it.
to rebuild.
That's why you
But
never tank,
yep, I learned my lesson.
even when there's no consequence
I
at the
learned
time.
my lesson. Yeah.
The embarrassment could come.
Yeah. At the time is before we had the draft lottery.
Yeah, yeah, it's true,
Yeah.
right? That was
So it was
a long
actually
time ago.
quite critical. Yeah.
It's crazy to think, I know we're 10 seasons in, but it's crazy to think how far we've come in just what the league actually looks like. Uh, you know, like we didn't
Yeah,
have
oh
any
yeah.
lottery
It's so
effort.
competitive now compared to what it
Tanking.
was.
I remember we had those tanking arguments when tanking was a thing. People weren't deciding full lineups, uh, and we got all into it. Like,
Yeah.
no, we
But
always get into it, we resolve it.
we've done a really good job of not letting things get too far. Only had to veto a couple trades
Then
in
we
our
got rid of the
10 year.
veto.
And then we got rid of the veto and I don't think there's been anything worth vetoing anyways. Um no, nothing's that bad, but I like that we can come to terms. We can get a league vote and we just let it be what it is.
I think a veto can hinder a league. Um, you have 16 people who see a trade differently, and you get someone people who veto it, like you're making it not fun for people who actually are making trades that will help them, right? So no one will ever look at the Zibanejad trade. I'm sure some people would have said we got to veto that. Why? Because there's no high
That's
pick.
true.
Like it's just
Yeah,
different opinions. People don't look at it the same way, and I think the veto could hurt a league when it's in league because it could just downright cancel good trades
yeah.
and discourage trading.
I see the veto necessary for leagues that you don't have people who have been around for this many years, the people that just make the stupid trades at the end of the year on these non-keeper leagues. That then there's I think there's complete value in it. But
Yes,
when we have a league that's working like we do, there's no it's not necessary.
when really you're keeping the majority of the best players in the league on someone's roster, like you
Yeah,
don't veto anything because the trades aren't completely one-sided, overpowering, right? It's not.
yeah,
You're always getting something of value in return too in our league. So whether it be players or draft picks that are equivalent to a good deal. Um,
exactly.
but there was chaos back in the early days for those that remember, right? So it's crazy to think how far we've actually come as a league.
Oh, we've pushed the boundaries though, but we're competitive, and that's why we've had to keep making these new rules. Right? You got
People
the
find new
trade,
ways.
the rental players, and then you got the Sunday trade. Like the ad drop trades was not a thing before. Like
No,
like that was definitely not. It was probably just a super competitive week, and it's not a big price to pay, and if it can make the difference.
it's creative thinking
Yeah,
outside the box, right? Like, how can
it's
I get
kind of
more
annoying though
players?
too. It's annoying in those close matchups when you're winning. You're like, fuck, like I know they're gonna add to get favorable, and you just know the people that will do it, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see the competition. So
It depends. Sometimes you're playing against someone, you're like, there's too much pride here. I don't want to lose to this guy. Like, I'm gonna make those trades.
go, go, just be a little brat.
Nah,
Upstairs, please.
that's all right. We're
Yeah.
pretty much done anyway. Do you have any closing comments, buddy?
No, I took down Daltrey last week. I gotta take down his dad. Sorry, guys.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate the company. No one wants to hear me ramble on for 40 minutes by myself, so I appreciate having a co-host. Reminder that this is an open invitation, guys. Anytime you guys want to be on the show, reach out. It doesn't always have to be the same guys, and even if they are
No.
joining too, we can add another body to the show. It's always fun hearing different opinions. And again, that's all this is opinions, guys. Take it for
Yeah.
what you want. This is just what we think. Take it with a grain of salt. If you don't like my opinion, good. Form your own. That's fine. You're just gonna hear mine because I'm very vocal and I host the show. That's why you're gonna hear
Yeah.
mine. You know,
Can't let it win, boys. Can't let it win. That's all I gotta say.
I don't want you to
Yeah.
let me win. I'm just gonna win regardless.
Well, tell Sean who keeps trading you. No,
Well, that's
I do think it was a good trade for him, but it did improve your team. So theoretically, as long as unless DeBrusque keeps destroying it in Vancouver, which he could, off to a
good.
good start.
I thought
Off to a good
I
start.
he was a key piece of that deal that I used to acquire him earlier this season, but I wanted to clear roster spots. I have plans, and that was just kind of a way to do it and kind of get a better quality player overall than what I gave up for this season is what it should be. What it should
Yeah.
be. Whether it
Yeah.
ends up that way, it's a whole different story, right? So.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for joining me, buddy. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, everyone, this week. Except for you, Travis. Your team's fucking trash. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I agree.